Good morning. So today we have Jody with us, who is known for helping organizations grow with and through strategic partnerships. Outside work, she loves photography, she loves traveling, she loves adventure, so she knows how to balance her work life with entertainment. Let's welcome Jody on 10 Minutes of Hiding Wisdom. Hi, Jody. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. How are you?
I am doing well. Thank you so much for joining us, Jody. So, we'd love to hear about your journey, about how you ended up where you are currently, just about how things were, especially when you got out of college and the route you take to be the person that you are today.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. So my career was unexpected, even to myself. I can share that. I studied in college public relations, journalism, marketing, and thought I would end up in working for a PR agency or as a journalist, and really ended up pivoting toward technology, specifically cybersecurity. The in or the way that I was able to get into the industry was through a friend who shared with me that he was starting a new company working with manufacturers who create technology and help companies solve their problems specific to breaches. He needed a marketing manager and a publicist to help get the company off the ground. So I said, all right, I'll do it for a year and see how it goes. I really didn't think it would, I'd want to stay for the long term, but I did really enjoy it. I enjoyed the fast paced environment, which the industry provides. Cybersecurity, as you probably know, is incredibly relevant right now. Warfare is now cyber in many cases, and companies are popping up left and right, and there's a lot of opportunity really to grow professionally, to travel, and to meet really interesting people. So I enjoyed all of those aspects of the job. I did get to exercise some creative muscles and help with demand generation and finding new clients, and then really found my niche within partnerships and alliances. So, a passion of mine and something I value a lot is connection, and really connecting people to help companies grow and to help people grow was something I really enjoyed.
Okay, so you had a long journey, and then you got to my next question, which would have been like you mentioned that you weren't really into cybersecurity, but you decided to continue a path in that, especially because I can understand how relevant it is these days, especially because you usually hear one news after the other that big companies are being breached by like issues like that and everything. So it's really interesting. So I'd love to know, as in like where you what you're currently doing and how things have been, especially with the pandemic and everything. What have you been up to generally?
Absolutely. So the work from home, because with the pandemic, everybody's working from home. And largely in my industry, it was normal to work from home because we all traveled so much. I was largely in the sales and marketing capacity, so work from home is not new to us. And there also became a really important initiative for all companies to make sure that their networks and their sensitive information was protected, right, as people were working from home and carrying laptops all over the place, right? There was a large growing mobile workforce. So from that perspective, we stayed very busy and we continued to help our clients, and that was really positive. But for me personally, I decided after 2 years at the current company that now I'm advising for, I decided to step out of the full time position. I was working as their vice president of strategic partnerships and alliances and really enjoyed that role and growing and building a team and a program to support all the various manufacturers that GuidePoint works with. But I decided to pivot into independent advisory work. Which is still fairly new for me. I've just been doing it since April 1st, but there's a number of other smaller organizations who have invited me to participate in their advisory boards, and that's something that I am really enjoying and have always wanted to do. So I really get to spend my time with multiple different organizations now, really in a part-time independent capacity, helping them to better understand how to work with partners like GuidePoint, right? People who resell their technology and also provide services around their technology. And I get to help work with CEOs and CMOs to help craft their go-to-market strategy as they're launching their businesses. So it's really fun and exciting.
I can see how you use your creativity to make sure that you can actually come up with innovative strategies while building relationships, which is your other interest. So I can see how they go hand in hand. And being a private like consultant yourself and everything, you can definitely like deploy those strategies. So how, as in like, according to you, like considering you've been working from home for quite a while, do you think as in like does it make you more productive? Like a lot of businesses these days are especially moving into a hybrid model, or most of them are even going remote completely. According to you, what are the setbacks associated with remote working and everything, and how should people, like specifically companies that are thinking of going completely remote, could overcome them, because you've had such a long experience in such a field?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a huge fan. Most of, my employment has been work from home, remote, and the people that I've employed, throughout the last 15, 20 years have all worked from home. So I believe that, that it's an opportunity for companies, but also for individuals, right, who need to balance their days, right, and have some time to pick up their kids and go back to work. I think the biggest drawback, honestly, is that it's hard for me, at least, and for a lot of people that I know, is that it's hard to turn it off, physically when you leave the office. You Most people can turn it off, right, and really leave the office. But when your office is in your home and it's on your phone and your phone's always in your hand, it's a lot harder to mentally turn it off, right, and to take a break and be with your friends and be with your family. So for me personally, that's the biggest challenge that I have. But I still, ultimately, I believe that it's positive for the majority of the professionals out there.
Okay, and how do you deal with this problem? So if you can't help in like drawing the line between work and home, how do you try to deal with this problem that exists?
Yeah. So I live by my calendar, and I advise others to do the same. I schedule time for taking a walk, schedule time for going to the gym, schedule time for, take having a quick lunch break with a friend or a family member. But I find that if I don't schedule it and really build that block of time into my day, I won't do it. And I'll get sucked into email, and I'm a huge list maker. I really work hard to before I go to bed every night. I have a list of what I want to do the next day and how I want to be productive versus reactive, right, and proactive. And so I find that list making helps, and then just really being pretty strict with my calendar as well.
Of course, does it give you the satisfaction of checking one item off the list? Because I usually make lists as well, and the satisfaction that I get, especially checking off one item on the list, it just like it gives me this immediate sense of gratification, which I absolutely love because I can see that okay, this is what I did, this is what I have to do, but I did something off the list.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
like
absolutely,
I can definitely relate. So thank you for sharing that. So
absolutely.
you've had a lot of experience, like when you worked as a marketing director specifically, you had experience hiring people. According to you, what is something that people that are seeking jobs should do in order to increase their chances of getting that dream job?
Absolutely. So a couple of things come to mind. The first is to really differentiate, yourself. It's really, really important to do that. I remember, many, many years ago when I was applying for my first job, I put together a plan, basically like what I would do in the first 30, 60, 90 days. And it wasn't asked of me. And I remember I met with the hiring manager after they were interested in speaking with me, and I brought it in a bound notebook, which is so antiquated, but and I showed them like what I would do, and how I could add value to their organization, and also really got creative, right, in terms of, the type of the value that I could bring to that position, right? Certain things very specific that I could do that maybe weren't in the job description, but were things that I knew would be of value to the business, or leveraging skill sets that I had that might be unique. And I put that together, and the other people that were going for the position did not do that. And I do think that that's one of the reasons, that the businesses chose to hire me, is just because I was differentiated there. And the other thing I'll say that I think is really important too is really
Wow,
to
so you decided to go the extra mile.
yeah, thank you. And the other thing I'll say that's important is just
Sorry,
leverage.
go ahead.
Oh, sorry. The is leveraging relationships, right, and your network. It's incredibly important. I think mostly people do business, with people they like, and they're not as concerned about the company name or what the company offers, or their products or their technology. In my business, and I think in general, right, your reputation is everything. So it's really important to build a network of people that you respect, that you look up to find a mentor. I had and still have some great mentors that really helped to guide me in my career path, and building and leveraging that network is really important.
Wow. Well, thank you so much, Jody. Your path was definitely something that's non-traditional. And you've definitely shown that if you believe in something, you should definitely go after it and just making sure that you do something that you're passionate about. So thank you so much, Jody. It was definitely a pleasure learning from you. I wish you even more success than before.
Yeah.
But it was a pleasure having you, and I hope you have a good rest of your day.
Thank
Thank
you
you so
so
much.
much. You as well. I appreciate it. Take care.